In the vast, blocky world of Minecraft, many players dedicate their time to building grand structures, exploring new realms, and forming communities. But as with any society, there's always the potential for chaos. Enter Joe Mama 892, a name that struck fear into the hearts of Mineplex players everywhere during the COVID-19 lockdowns of 2020. This is the story of one of the most infamous Minecraft trolls of all time.
Захватчиков, слуг немецким оккупантам, отправству наша славная Родина, не свобода, не независимость, от старого вперед, победа.
Mineplex, a popular Minecraft server known for its minigames and vibrant community, became Joe's chosen battleground. Armed with an arsenal of hacks and a penchant for chaos, he quickly established himself as a digital villain. His methods? A combination of sheer audacity and technical cunning. Using tools like speed hacks, fly mods, and kill auras, Joe turned friendly competition into an unplayable nightmare. Players attempting to build or play games found themselves flung into the void, trapped in obsidian cages, or relentlessly killed by a seemingly invincible opponent. And when he was banned, he returned, again and again. Every ban only fueled his determination. With each suspension, Joe Mama 892 returned under a new name. His list of alternate accounts reads like a bizarre hall of fame for digital troublemakers. The MRL Joe, Joe Sov, J Stalin, Joe Chad, Joe Fog, Joe VSMP, Joe is a god, Joey is hot, Joey EFX, the list goes on. Each name bore the same essence of chaos, ensuring that his reputation preceded him. Despite being banned over 20 times, Joe seemed unstoppable. His persistence became a source of frustration for admins and players alike. It wasn't just the hacks, it was the sheer mockery of the rules. Every time Joe was banned, it meant nothing. He would just make another alternate account to cause havoc. Each account would last him about a month or two. So these bans meant nothing. But Joe's reign wasn't just about exploiting the game's mechanics. He had a talent for psychological warfare. Chat logs tell the story of a player who took delight in mocking others, using taunts and insults to further frustrate his victims. To Joe, it wasn't just about winning, it was about making sure others lost in every sense of the word. He thrived on the reactions of players, who often flooded the chat with complaints, only fueling his trolling spree. But he didn't stop there. He would also include his ultra-nationalistic ideologies in these games and would push them towards children, such ideologies including Stalinism, his main one. But it seems that his political views depended on who he was trolling. But of course, Joe wouldn't stop with just words. He wanted to also ruin any game matches he could using Horion, a Minecraft plugin that gave players the ability to exploit the game. One of Joe's most infamous moments was his use of speed jetpack hacks during a Skywars match. As players scrambled for supplies, Joe Mama 892 stood at the center of the map, spinning wildly as the kill overlay covered the screen. Spectators watched in disbelief as he racked up kill after kill. One of Joe's favorite battlegrounds was the Mineplex housing game mode, a creative space where players could build and socialize. For most, it was a place to showcase their creativity. For Joe Mama 892, it was a playground for trolling. When given permission to build, he took every opportunity to grief the creations of others. Carefully constructed mansions were suddenly filled with lava. Intricate pixel art became a canvas for chaos. Yet, through his destruction, Joe Mama 892 began to gain an unusual following. But of course, his goal was to gain as much of a reaction out of his victims as possible, and they did, fueling his desire to troll even more. This made his cult followers do the same things he did: bullying, griefing, and even hacking. Despite the hatred he inspired in many, Joe Mama 892 also gained a devoted group of followers who were drawn to his nonchalant personality, uncaring attitude, and absurd sense of humor. To these players, he was more than a troll, he was a symbol of defiance. His goofy way of presenting himself and his complete disregard for bans made him a larger-than-life figure. Each time he joined, the server would erupt in chaos, but his name also carried a strange sense of excitement. This duality defined Joe a villain to some, but a hero to others. His unpredictability and antics made him the center of attention wherever he went. Joe's reputation became his greatest weapon. By the height of his infamy, his mere presence in a lobby was enough to send players into a frenzy. Some feared the destruction he would bring, while others eagerly awaited the chaos. Joe Mama 892's rise to power was as bizarre as it was terrifying. At first, he was just another troll, griefing builds and spamming chat with juvenile jokes. But his uncanny ability to manipulate and charm players soon turned the tide. A handful of fans began following him, initially laughing at his chaotic stunts. That small, loyal group became the nucleus of what would grow into a massive, unwavering cult. The server's community was paralyzed. Players who dared to stand against Joe found themselves overwhelmed by his army, their builds destroyed, their reputations dragged through the mud. Many simply stopped logging in, unwilling to face the cult's relentless harassment. Joe Mama 892 had transformed Mineplex from a vibrant hub of creativity into his personal dystopia, a digital dictatorship ruled by fear and chaos. Over the next several months, smaller factions and those pre-existing dwindled to the ruthless march of Joe's disciples. By establishing total control over the Mineplex landscape, the Iosifus Regula Timoris, or the Joe's reign of terror, would be marked by constant devastation on love hotels and even regular houses. Joe's reputation became his greatest weapon. By the height of his infamy, his mere presence in a lobby was enough to send players into a frenzy. Some feared the destruction he would bring, while others eagerly awaited the chaos. By the end of his reign, Joe Mama 892 had left a mark on Mineplex that was impossible to ignore. For many, he was a nightmare, a symbol of the darker side of online gaming. For others, he was a folk hero, someone who dared to break the rules with an unapologetic flair. While his multiple names may be forgotten, those who saw him up close and in action will remember his goals, his ideas, and the memories of chaos he created. Today, Joe Mama 892 remains a controversial figure to Mineplex bedrock moderators and players alike. To some, he's the embodiment of everything wrong with online gaming. To others, he's a mythic troll whose antics are spoken of with a strange mix of fear and amusement. But one thing is certain: his impact on Mineplex is undeniable. In the end, Joe Mama 892 serves as a reminder of both the chaos and resilience of online communities. For every troll, there are countless players working to restore what was lost, proving that even in the face of digital destruction, creativity and camaraderie will always prevail. But he is still out there. Somewhere.
Waiting patiently. To strike again.